So welcome back everybody, my name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. It has been close to a year since I've done a review on my scaffolding here. And for some reason I have noticed I've been getting a lot more comments recently and the videos are kind of, well, picking up steam again, that older initial review video. And I'm getting a lot of comments from y'all on, hey, you need to put railing on this scaffolding, you need to put outriggers, things like that to stabilize it and make it more stable. Because my original review video was about putting two of these Baker style scaffoldings together, and is it safe? So today we're gonna answer that. Shame on me for just now doing a follow-up review, but I bought railing last year and I bought outriggers shortly after making that video. And yes, it does make a heck of a difference. So I'm gonna put both of these together today inside of our house because, well, I have three different lights in here to check. One, not working on my fan that happens to be 12 foot up in the air, actually probably closer to 13 or 14 feet. And I have a light that's up around 15 feet, another one at 13 feet that quit working on me. My hunch is I have some loose connections on the light. The fan, well, I think I know what happened. We won't even get into that in this episode, but I do have a replacement LED light to put in it. So let me get these put together, show you how I now set up to double stack and to make this safe for working at height. We're gonna be working at almost 16 feet at the highest point. And let's see if these two scaffolds together with these extra accessories feel safe or not. Now this is what you can expect if you purchase two scaffolds and nothing else. And as you can see, well, it's quite tipsy. There's no way I'd want to be standing on this upper platform with it being this tipsy. That's just way too much going on right there, at least for my comfort level. But there's things that we can add to this if you're going to be working off of two to really help out with how unstable this is. Now, if you're gonna work off of a single platform, they're relatively stable in and of themselves, although some of the things I'm gonna show you, I still recommend for them, especially if you're gonna run it up to its highest level. And just for reference, I am 5'10". I can comfortably work up to about 12 foot max on a single level. That's with me reaching all the way up. And I don't even really want to say that's comfortable working height. That's really not, probably more in the 11 foot range. But if I needed to change a light bulb or something, I could do it probably up to 12 feet on a single level. Now, once you get up to the second levels, I don't even think about maxing this one out. Probably in that 16 foot range is to where I feel the most comfortable with two of these together. So one of the first things that you can do to help out is buy a set of stabilizers. These are made by Metal Tech. I bought these off of Amazon. I'll be sure to include the link down in the description. And I forgot to mention that my scaffold was purchased from Harbor Freight. Now here's the thing. This is what's commonly referred to as Baker scaffolding. It all seems to have the same dimensions, takes the same accessories, is the same style stuff that you're gonna see at Harbor Freight, Home Depot, and a lot of the big box stores. They'll just, well, call them their own name brand, but Baker style scaffolding is what these are all built after. Now you will see some differences. Say Home Depot one, for example, I think they have to where there is a piece of board right here that lifts up so you can climb up on the inside. That's a relatively nice feature. I don't know how much more it costs. That keeps you from having to climb up on the outside of the scaffolding, for example. As far as these outriggers go, or stabilizers, whatever you want to call them, they just clip right on like everything else. They fit right in these holes. They have a tension nut over here on the side to kind of help take some of the slop out of them. Then you put another pin through down here, which locks this bottom wheel in, as well as that stabilizer. And these wheels are the same exact size as what comes on here, and they also have a lock as well. Okay, so now that we have those on, let's look and see, are we more stable? Without a doubt we are. Now there's still some slop back and forth this way, but as far as the side to side slop, much better, much better. I would consider going ahead and getting on the top with this right here. Plus these outriggers keep this from being less tipsy now. not only do they stabilize it up as far as just the overall shake and feel of it, but it's gonna be much harder to tip this over either direction with those outriggers. That's a must if you're gonna add a second level. But I discovered there's something else that's very inexpensive and cheap that you can do to really stabilize this up. So take a simple set of ratchet straps, and as you can see, I've went from one corner down to the other. If you do this technique, it makes a night and day difference on how stable this is. It ties it all to the bottom. Now, yes, you're still gonna get some wiggle and shake. That's just the way that it is. But it takes that side-to-side slop out that you just seen, because it's now tying each opposite corner together. The ratchet straps are worth doing without a doubt. Even on a single level, if you run a platform all the way up to here, I still use ratchet straps. It makes that big of a difference, and it's extremely cheap. This is technically just X-bracing. Now, I can get up here and work comfortably, but you better be comfortable with heights. There is a little bit of a shake and wobble that's gonna be with this. And what I have found mentally, just because there is nothing here, no rails, nothing, your eyes can't focus on anything, and it makes you feel unstable. That's where that railing makes all the difference in the world. All right, as y'all can see, it's next day. Had some family come over yesterday, so I'm picking up where we left off. I now have this railing installed, and again, all this stuff will be down in the description if you want to take a look at it. But it makes a huge difference. Now having something to reference with your eyes, with your hands, something to index, to touch, I can't explain the difference it makes in comfort instead of just balancing up here and knowing that you have nothing to touch or feel. Now your body can lean against this railing. Like I said, you can grab this while you're working. It makes all the difference in the world on how comfortable this thing feels working up this high. And just for reference, it looks like I could probably go up another 8 or 10 inches, which would have this completely maxed out. I'm just not comfortable at that level. But right here to this ceiling is 16 feet, actually slightly over, and you can see how I can comfortably work this high. That's why I tell a lot of people, I have people that send me comments all the time, hey, do you think I could work to 20 feet or so with one of these models? No, I don't. I think comfortably 16 and a half feet is about where you're maxed out on this type of unit. Now, if you're a taller person and you want to run this all the way to the top, yeah, you can probably get to 17 feet plus. That is absolutely it. This railing also makes a big difference when climbing down. Having, again, something to hold on to and stabilize yourself makes a big difference. All right, so here's how it looks from the ground floor. Stabilizers on both sides, 2 different levels. The X bracing that's just done with cheap ratchet straps. That is a must do, makes a huge difference. And then of course there is the railing up there. I will carry you up and show you that because it's got doors on both sides. All right, so here is the way the doors work. There is a little clasp and latch right there. So you can open up either side and climb out. And when you lock these two together, both sides of the railing, there we go, it does definitely help with stability. Now at the end of the day, this is a thin scaffolding that's a long ways down. It's gonna feel a little shaky, so you better be comfortable with heights. But at no point in time of me using this over the last year have I felt like this was going to absolutely tip over. Actually, even at times, I would grab a hold of something like, say, that truss right there and pull on it and try to actually, not necessarily pull this over, but see if it would get tipsy at all. With the stabilizers on, it's very difficult. I couldn't even get the other side wheels off of the floor. Now, without the stabilizers this high up, yeah, you could probably tip this over No doubt. So this railing system actually locks down into square tubing down here and is pinned through, so it can't be pulled up. And something I do to help with stability, I just put some of these heavy duty zip ties around this bar and the rest of my scaffolding. That's one reason I don't like bringing the floor all the way up, and that really helps with stability. Another viewer mentioned, hey, put some big worm clamps around this post right here and this one to really cinch and hold those together. I think that would be an excellent idea. But you don't have that option if I were to raise this floor all the way up to here. Then you've got the railing just kind of barely pinned in and it's wobbly. Well, that's disappointing. It's like a 2 to 3 month old brand new LED light went bad. I may no longer be recommending these lights. Well, hopefully this answered some of your questions and you enjoyed the follow-up review here. I have had this for about a year, and believe it or not, I framed this entire house that you're looking at, including these big 16-foot long walls with big 2x10 triple stacked headers, all that off of this scaffolding right here. It is more than paid for itself. Now, with that said, I don't even know what current pricing is on all this. I think I had a little less than $1,000 in this entire setup. That's 2 Harbor Freight scaffolds, which at the time were $500 and something. I think I paid $580 for both. I'm sure they're up more now with all the COVID excuses. I forget what the outriggers were. Again, I'll have links down there, 2 sets of those. And then the railing was $100 and something, close to $200. So it all added up. Maybe it was more in the $800, $900 range that I had. But regardless, it is more than paid for itself based on, well, renting scaffolding. And I have rented scaffold before. Now, it's going to be a little more robust and bigger if you go to your local rental store. And last I remember, I think it was like $75 to $100 a day. So if you're just going to do the occasional 1-year project of change a few light bulbs, do a little dusting, it may not be worth your while to invest in double stack scaffolding like this. But I can tell you, single stack scaffolding is so unbelievably useful. I'm always going to have some of it. I have a shop over there with 14-foot sidewalls. You'll have to change lights and do stuff over there. So this scaffold is going to get a lot of use between the house, the porch, and over in that shop. But again, if you're just going to use it once a year, you may be better off running to town to your local store, renting scaffolding for the day. But if you're going to use it more than a few times, well, yeah, you may want to start looking at purchasing your own set right here. Now again, if you're just gonna go with a single scaffolding that allow you to work from, I'd say 11 foot down, but you can reach 12 foot with it, you can get away with that for $200 something. You don't even have to have these stabilizers on here, although I still recommend them if you're gonna work with a single stage maxed out, but they're not a must. A couple cheap ratchet straps for $200 something. A single set of scaffolding is so useful for painting, changing light bulbs in your house, again, dusting, cleaning windows. It's a no-brainer. You got to have it. Plus, scaffolding also makes excellent shelving. I can take that upper section, put on this lower section right here, put it out in my shop, and I can make shelving with there. Put some bigger ticket items on there that's easy to remove, that's maybe wrapped up in a plastic box or cardboard box, that I can get access to this anytime I need. So you can allow this to be shelving, get stuff off the floor, and then again, big items, take right off, go set your scaffolding up, use it somewhere. I will absolutely always have this right here. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, the old original video has been getting a lot of comments and interest here lately, so I figured it was time to put this together, show you all the components that I had, and show you the way that I highly recommend setting it up if you're gonna work it almost maxed out and stacked too high. Catch y'all in the next video.